Hi guys, day 2 of lockdown lessons. Hopefully you enjoyed the first one about the grip or the hold. Hope you've had a good day today. So today talking about posture, obviously the importance of posture. We spoke about the grip, and posture is the second most important thing. They're the two things I always mark my clients when they first come. 10 out of 10 for the grip, 10 out of 10 for posture. So today we're in the lounge. I don't normally walk around the lounge with my golf shoes on, but just for effect. So we've got the pasta cooking, so I'm gonna have to be quick. So we'll get this over and done with for you. But something you can do at home. Posture is all about obviously exactly what it says it is. It's getting good angles and making you athletic, make a good athletic movement in the golf swing. We see so many bad postures as teachers. We're all different shapes and sizes. Obviously some are taller, some are fatter, some are shorter, some are slimmer, but there's no excuse when it comes to posture. A bit like I said yesterday, it doesn't require any talent, just like the hold of the golf club doesn't require any talent. The posture doesn't require any talent either, just a little bit of discipline and also understanding. So what are we looking for in posture today? I'm going to do it from both sides. I'm going to do it from front on, and I'm going to do it from the rear. And basically to start with, I'm going to put the club down and just get you to understand that it's about the spine angle. We swing around the angle of the spine. Obviously we tilt forwards. How do we do that? The best way for you to get posture is to start bolt upright, get your chest back, get your tummy in, get nice and athletic, stand shoulder width apart and just tilt from the hips, keeping your tummy in and try and get that spine as straight as you can. We've all got natural curvature in our spine. Some of you will be working at desks all the time. We see children now all the time with bad curvature of the spine, but you know, we can work on getting those shoulders back, getting the tummy in and trying to get this bit of our spine here as straight as is possible. So what I want you to do to start with is literally just say hand on the upper part of your chest, hand in your back, and just tilt from shoulder width apart, keeping the back nice and straight. And just, I've put a white belt on purpose, not for a fashion show, but just so you can see it more clearly. What we see an awful lot as coaches is people who tuck their bottom in, look at my belt, how my belt goes level, and they stand to the ball with real curvature, a real C shape. Look at the shape from the neck to the bottom of my bum. It's like a C shape, real curved spine. The opposite of that is obviously when people try and stick their bum out because they've been told to stick their bum out, and they do the right thing here, but then we get a real bad, even a worse, that's even more painful for me, the curvature in the spine there. So the best way for me is to try and find the middle ground between those two. Can you practice with your hands on your belt or your hands on your hips? Can you practice, once you've tilted forwards, can you practice putting your tummy, or you tucking your bottom under, and can you create the opposite arch? Under and out, and then try and find that middle ground there, where your spine is a bit straighter, you haven't got the C in the arch, your core is being held to make it a little bit more dynamic, so we're using the core muscles. I know some of us have got bigger tummies than others, but we want to use the core, we want it to be dynamic, we want it to be mobile, okay? So you see people in these C positions, that's not going to be a very mobile movement. If I try and turn from there, I'm not going to get much of a 90-degree turn or more. If I get my spine straight, my shoulders back, I can get at least 90 degrees, you can see from there comfortably. So we want you to be mobile, we want good mobility, flexibility, but we want it to be a dynamic movement as well. So that's the most important thing. Practice that at home as well. Practice your tummy tilts, your tilt of your pelvis. Get it in the right angle, okay? Once we've got your hold on the club, the grip, there, take your width, shoulder width apart with your stance, all right, and just stand bolt upright, as we say, shoulders back, tummy in, and just naturally tip from the waist, keeping the legs straight, just tip there, let the arms hang naturally below the shoulders, and then just flex the knees very softly from a straight position. We don't bend the knees, because look what happens as soon as I bend the knees, my spine becomes too straight and too upright again. The knees have got to be just lightly flexed from a straight position, and from there, as I say, my arms can just hang naturally down. Where they hang is where I'm going to grip the golf club. Okay, so from the back, that is what our posture should look like when we're addressing the ball. There, nice and athletic, straight as we can, shoulders back as much as we can, engaging the tummy, engaging the abdominals, but not trying to get a C shape here, but not getting tucked under. Okay, so from the back, and then the head is just relaxed. Another good way, another little drill, you can practice that. Just getting a club, touching your coccyx, touching your in between your shoulder blades and touching your head, again, shoulder width apart, and just keep that all together as you bend with straight legs, and then just soften. And then from there, you can just let the arms hang and let the head relax. The head shouldn't be up like this. The head should just be in a nice relaxed position, so you're looking down directly at the ball. So that's what it should look like from behind. From the front, as we said, shoulder width apart. Just going to move over here, use the lines on the carpet. Put some lovely stud marks in the carpet. So, shoulder width apart, what does that mean? That means from the outside of my shoulders, so from there to there, that is going to be the distance between my big toes, there and there. Okay, so the outside of the shoulders, there to there, is going to be the gap from there to there. Outside of the shoulders, inside of the toes. Okay, you'll notice, and I'm using the lines on the carpet purposely, I want the right foot to be perfectly square, the back foot to be perfectly square to the carpet, but you'll notice my left foot, my front foot, is turned out about 20-25 degrees. Okay, that allows me then, once I put the ball, whatever position, we'll talk about ball position and it with different clubs, but then my arms will be hanging, you'll notice, inside my left thigh. They're not hanging in the middle, so the gap here to that leg and that leg is the same. There's no gap here between that and that leg, and a big gap here. Okay, so my left arm, you'll see the left arm on the club is almost creating a straight line. So the width of stance is really, really important. Ball position we'll talk about. The weight is pretty much 50-50. Some people will tell you just to lean a little bit left-sided. This is to compensate for the fact that your right hand obviously sits lower on the club. So there will be a slight tilting of the shoulders here. We're not trying to get our shoulders level because the right hand is sitting below the left hand. So there'll be a little bit of shoulder tilt this way. We compensate that sometimes with just a little bit of leaning into the left side with our lower body. Okay, but basically you're looking for an even balance, 50-50. I'm often asked, where is the weight in relation to heels and toes? A lot of people say, you know, the weight should be on the balls of the feet, on the toes of the feet. A really good way to think of it, I always like to think of the body is split from the belt upwards. So my lower body weight is definitely set back into my heels. My upper body weight is definitely into my toes. Come this way. If I was leaning over a building, imagine this little white line on the rug was a building and I was on the top floor trying to lean over. How brave could I be to lean over? How would I keep my weight? If I kept leaning forward with my upper body, how would I keep my weight? I'd keep my weight by keeping my lower body and my bum stable. My weight would be more in my heels. So lower body weight, think of your lower body weight in your heels, your upper body weight a little bit more in your toes. And a good way to think of it as well is how far behind my heels is the bottom of my spine or my bum. Maybe 4 inches or so. If I hang my arms down in posture, you'll notice that my arms are hanging 4 or 5 inches in front of my toes. My bottom is 4 or 5 inches below my heels. So again, the balance is totally equal. My lower body weight in my heels, my upper body weight in the toes, it matches each other. It cancels each other out. So the weight is actually then right through the middle of the foot. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Right, ball position, just very quickly. Ball position. I've got 3 clubs here. I've got a driver, I've got a 5-iron, and I've got a pitching wedge. And what I want you to think of is the ball position with every club obviously changes. So my driver, a lot of people say driver off the left heel. I think of driver nowadays almost more off the inside, off the big toe. Get it right forward so you can hit up on it. Obviously a 5-iron is going to be sort of 1/3, 2/3, and my wedge will be pretty much in the middle of my stance. But what I want you to really get, what a lot of people get wrong, is the hand position. The hand position, obviously I can't grip all these clubs at once, but the hand position is the same for all 3 clubs. For every club in the bag, your hand position is going to be the same. What will change will be the lean of the shaft. So you can see with my pitching wedge, there's a much more of a lean. My hands are well in front of the ball. With a 5-iron, they'll just be slightly in front of the ball. And with a driver, they're probably going to be behind the ball. My hands, though, are in exactly the same position with every single club. The lean of the shaft changes because the hand position doesn't move, okay? How does that look from behind? Driver, 5-iron, pitching wedge. Again, different ball positions, you can see. My posture will be the same. I'm not changing my posture. I'm only stood a different distance away from the ball because of the length of the club. That is going to alter, I'll get rid of the 5-iron for a minute. That is going to alter the plane, obviously my swing plane, because this is more upright. So this club will be swung on a much more upright plane. My driver is obviously longer, I'm further away, and it will be swung on a slightly flatter plane because the club is longer and I start at a different distance from the ball. So because I'm closer, this will be more upright. Because I'm further away, this will be flatter. Even though my hands are in the same position, the clubs will be at a different angle. The plane of the swing will change with each club. So whether you're facing that way, whether you're facing that way, the ball position is exactly the same. One other thing I'm going to mention, you might wonder why indoors I've got a long sleeve shirt on. I'm just going to roll up my left sleeve. This is a good thing to check. When I stand behind people, what I more often than not see is the underside of this arm. If I take my setup here, and when my shoulders are open, which most amateur golfers are, that means their shoulders are aiming to the left of the target, that's going to produce normally a slice. It could produce obviously a pull to the left. More often than not with a driver, it would be a slice. The reason for that, and sometimes it's not even the shoulders, very few people, very few instructors talk about the forearms, getting the forearms square. We talk about shoulders, hips, knees and feet, but try and get the forearms square. Just behind me there. I want to see this part of your forearm when I'm teaching you behind you. I don't want to see that one. When we get our right shoulder too high, you generally see the underside of the forearm. When you're looking in the mirror behind you, you want to see this part of your arm. That means that your shoulders will be square or parallel to your target line. They will not be open. As soon as I open my shoulders, look which part of my arm you see. Try and see this part of your arm. Okay? And finally, I've put a little bit of tape here on the window. It was like when we started this lesson. I've put a bit of tape on the window. You might not be allowed to do that at home, but if you can, and you learn what your posture is, when you get your best posture, find your best posture, get someone to put some tape on a mirror or the window, and you can practice where your best posture should be. Okay, so if you get it wrong, you start getting rounded, or you start tipping over too much, or getting a bit too upright, you'll see you come away from that line. See if you can get as close to that line as possible and check that you can see that part of the arm. Okay guys, so hopefully that's a pretty comprehensive talk about posture. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that makes sense. Give us some feedback, try it, practice it at home, send me some pictures if you want, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Enjoy your evening, whatever day it is. I'm losing track of the days now on this lockdown. Take care guys, cheers.